me. Look at me. Do I look like somebody's playing a practical joke? Am I laughing?
I thought we reviewed the Blob already.
We did. This is Beware the Blob.
So it's a sequel.
Yes and no. It's kind of a soft reboot.
What does that mean?
It means that we'll get into that in a bit. Let's get this review started already.
In a small home, Chester Haggis has returned home after spending some time on a job in the Arctic. As his wife Marianne is going through the refrigerator to put away groceries, she finds a canister he left in there. He tells her one of his co-workers found the thing inside the canister while he was working.
Ah, so it is a sequel to the original.
Now, hold your horses a second there.
She decides to leave it out while she puts the groceries away.
While she gets food ready for her pet cat, the Blob begins thawing out and gets hungry. Marianne shows her husband the coveralls she's made for her friend Bobby's birthday, and the cat encounters the Blob. Marianne goes out in search for the cat and ends up being eaten by the Blob.
Well, that went faster than I thought.
Marianne's friend Lisa heads out to pick up Marianne's gift for her boyfriend. Back with Chester, he's watching TV while the Blob creeps in. Switch over to a certain movie. Chester is attacked by the Blob.
So wait, the original movie is a work of fiction? But I thought the opening revealed that it was a sequel to the original. Oh god, I'm so confused.
See what I mean?
A group of scouts are heading out for a nature hike nearby when Lisa drives by, stopping to greet them.
These scouts aren't too important to the film, but they keep popping up in short scenes.
We'll skip their scenes since they're not really important to the plot.
After she continues her drive, the scouts charge forward.
Lisa enters Marianne's home and finds Chester being consumed by the Blob, causing her to flee in terror, nearly hitting another car in the rush. Lisa arrives at a farm, the home of her boyfriend Bobby, and tells him about the horrifying incident she just had. The two drive back to Chester's place. The driver of the car who Lisa nearly hit, Edward Fuzio, explains what happened to Sheriff Jones just as Lisa and Bobby drive past.
Arriving at Chester's place, Bobby goes in but doesn't find anything except the TV still running. Jones arrives and questions the pair about what's going on, and he calls for backup. In a storm drain, Lisa's stoner friends are hanging out when they're interrupted by an officer. They all meet a terrible fate as the Blob looms near.
Those are poor people getting interrupted by a cow.
Once reinforcements arrive, the police begin searching the Hargis' house. In town, the local barbershop is visited by a man looking for a haircut. The barber declares himself an artist, and the customer wants his artistic touch. As the artiste shampoos the customer's hair, the two are attacked by the Blob.
Outside the Hargis house, Fazio thanks an officer for the sheriff's swift response to his complaint. When the sheriff exits the home, he tells Lisa and Bobby to go home and tells them to file a report in the morning as the search of the house turned up nothing. Fazio attempts to make a citizen's arrest of the couple for running him off the road, but the couple leave regardless. As they drive off, Lisa is upset that Bobby won't believe her.
He thinks you're crazy, lady, but he still loves you.
A man bathes, witnessing his dog being consumed by the Blob, fleeing through the nearby window, running scared into the street while completely naked before being picked up by an officer.
That's something you don't see every day.
I don't want to see that any day.
Bobby and Lisa arrive at the house and find the surprise party in full swing. Despite her best efforts to warn the partygoers of what she saw, everyone thinks she's fooling.
After a while, Bobby decides to take Lisa home as she's obviously not feeling well. Back at the police station, Sheriff Jones learns that various people around town aren't where they should be. However, the sheriff recalls that a bowling tournament is going on and suspects that's why people are seemingly missing.
As they drive home, Lisa and Bobby encounter Fozzie, who is blocking their path due to what happened earlier. Instead of dealing with him, they drive over his beer case, further frustrating Fazio. On a farm on the edge of town, Burdeth Meredith, Larry Hagman, and some other guy are getting drunk.
Fun fact, Larry Hagman, famous for his roles in I Dream of Jeannie and Dallas, directed this movie.
When their chickens are attacked by the Blob, the film's director is sent out to investigate the noise. He encounters the mass, with the other two drunkards soon sharing his fate.
I got this weird craving for chicken nuggets.
Back at the party, some of Lisa's friends decide to head out. Meanwhile, Lisa and Bobby arrive at Bobby's farm, and the two start getting intimate in the car. Unfortunately, the Blob looms near, and when she spots it, Lisa is reminded of the horror she witnessed. The Blob soon covers the car, trapping the couple inside. With the car unable to drive off, the goo begins seeping into the vehicle, and in a panic, the air conditioner is turned on, and the Blob quickly retreats, and the couple makes their getaway.
The friends from the party arrive at the gas station, and the guy inside the gorilla suit answers the phone with monkey noises. Bobby and Lisa arrive at the gas station and tell their friends what happened, and Bobby tries to call the police but can't reach the sheriff. The guy in the gorilla suit drives off without his girlfriend while Bobby keeps trying to contact the sheriff. The gorilla of course encounters the Blob and it doesn't go well. After learning the sheriff is at the bowling alley, Bobby, Lisa, and their friend head there, but they find the Blob attacking their friend with the girlfriend going out to help him unaware of the danger.
At the bowling alley, the announcer informs the patrons that the connecting ice rink will open up in a few weeks. Bobby and Lisa arrive at the bowling alley, and Bobby goes in to look for the sheriff. He gets on the PA system and asks the sheriff to come to the front desk while warning everyone to run for their lives. As it turns out, Fazio runs the bowling alley. The regular announcer assures the customers that they're in no danger, meaning they're not going anywhere.
And now they think he's crazy.
The mechanics working in the back are attacked by the Blob, which begins oozing out into the bowling alley. In his office, Fazio confronts Lisa and Bobby, who tell him that their friends have been killed by the goo, but Fazio doesn't buy it. It thinks that the couple are out to ruin his day even further than he hears the screaming of his customers. Jones returns to the station and has a hard time figuring out just what all happened when all those phones start ringing off the hook.
The panic continues at the bowling alley, and Fazio finally witnesses the Blob. Lisa, Bobby, and Fazio barricade themselves in the ice rink's announcer booth. The police arrive at the bowling alley, and Bobby uses the PA system to warn the police of the danger within the building. The Blob begins to seep into the booth as Jones attempts a plan to rescue the trapped people. Bobby tries electrocuting the Blob to no effect, as the sheriff and his crew work their way through the building.
Upon finding it, an officer attempts to shoot the Blob, but it has no effect on it and is consumed by the mass and forces Jones to retreat. When the ice causes the goo to retreat from the announce booth, Bobby realizes how the air conditioner scared the Blob. Jones decides to burn down the building to kill the Blob, as Bobby asks Fazio how to turn the ice rink on. Bobby makes his way to the switch, avoiding the mass as the sheriff orders more gasoline poured around the building.
Bobby activates the ice rink, freezing the Blob. Just as Jones is about to set the building on fire, Bobby arrives and tells him it's over and that the mass has been frozen. Inside, Fazio asks the sheriff who's going to pay for all the damage to his facility. The local news crew are allowed in, and everyone goes out onto the frozen creature as Jones begins giving a speech about what's happened. As the filming continues, a lamp begins melting a portion of the frozen Blob, which creeps over the sheriff's feet.
Beware of the Blob, a pretty good movie, but not as good as the original Blob, but it's still good in its own right.
I love how the film is comedic in tone, but the Blob itself is taken seriously.
It keeps it from feeling like a parody of itself.
While not a perfect replacement for the original movie, this movie is definitely well worth checking out.
Until next time, this has been Kaiju Review. I am Tank.
And I'm Protomet.
See ya!